Earlier today, I went to the Abraham-Hicks workshop, the first workshop of the Scandinavian cruise, and whoa, here's one idea that really blew my mind. So you know how a lot of manifesting teachers talk about that we need to leave the timing and the how of our manifestation up to the universe? Today, Abraham went into detail and really focused upon how the timing and the how our desire comes about is really under our control. I will tell you more about that in just a minute, but first, just to give a little bit of context. Yeah, I'm here in Scandinavia at the Abraham workshop, and the reason why I decided to come to this cruise, this workshop, is because obviously it sounds like a lot of fun, but also this one holds special meaning for me because I actually studied abroad in Scandinavia in college, and so this cruise just happened to be visiting many of the same cities that I went to when I studied abroad. And so, yeah, I'm here at the workshop, and before going to the workshop today, I sat down with my journal and kind of tuned in and clarified some of my intentions. One of the main topics that I wanted to focus on and that I wanted more clarity from Abraham about was around kind of like my relationship with time. I feel like that's been getting a little out of balance lately, and I wanted, like I've been experiencing, as Abraham would say, like more contrast in that area, as far as just feeling like there's more that I want to do that I don't always find time to do, or also that sometimes it takes me particularly long time to do the things that I do want to do. And so I basically had an intention to understand during this cruise, during this Abraham workshop experience, how I can more effectively leverage time and kind of accomplish my goals and manifest my dreams in a more efficient feeling manner. So that was one of my main intentions. So I got a lot out of the workshop today, and I wanted to try to narrow it down to kind of 3 big high vibe insights that I received from the workshop today that I wanted to share with you, and they all kind of tie into what I mentioned at the beginning about how Abraham is focusing on this notion that we really have a lot of say in the how our manifestation happens and also the timing of it too. And so the first one is just kind of understanding how our inner being, or the source part of us, it is the more general part of us. It is more generally focused on qualities like love, like well-being. The intentions that our inner being has are more just these general vibrations of just expecting well-being for us and just being in that pure place of love. And so we're the more specific part of source of our inner being. We have these specific preferences. The inner being doesn't have these specific preferences or this specific kind of agenda for us. And so our specific kind of desires or preferences, not just about what we want to manifest kind of as the end goal, but also about the timing and about how it happens, are all very important and all taken into account and would be naturally the way things would manifest if we were in alignment. Our inner being just holds this pure intention for us that we're the unlimited creators, that we are unconditionally loved, that we are that well-being is dominant for us. And so in that context of that pure positive energy, then any specific desires that we have, not only just about the specific things that we want to manifest, but also the specific way that we want it to happen, or the specific timing that we want it to happen in. When we're in that high vibration, we are taking that more general kind of focus of source and able to kind of like pinpoint it on the timing and on the how. And so I think that was like something that I understood in a deeper way from the workshop, and that was really cool. So that was the first high vibe insight that I got. And then the second one, or the second piece from the workshop that I wanted to share, was they told a cool story about Esther, an experience that she had yesterday, actually, on July 4th. which in America is the July 4th holiday, Independence Day, about Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers of our country. And the little story that she told was basically that she's been listening to an audiobook about Thomas Jefferson, and she had been listening to it only during the evening before she fell asleep, but yesterday she got inspired to listen to it while she was kind of getting ready during the day. And the part of the book that just happened to be playing was a part where it spoke about how Thomas Jefferson had a desire. He was at the end of his life, so it was towards the end of the book, and he had this strong desire to die on July 4th, on Independence Day, because, excuse me, as one of our founding fathers of America, that's a really important day, obviously, for him being a part of that too. And so that was his intention, and he was just kind of like holding on to life and staying alive, like hanging in there. And then as soon as the clock struck midnight on July 4th was basically when he died. And so yeah, the whole point of that story was, again, kind of emphasizing what I was talking about earlier about how we have control of the timing. So that's like a really clear example of having control of the timing. And then also another piece of that story was that for Esther, she really enjoyed hearing about Thomas Jefferson's, that little story about his, that manifestation of his actually on July 4th, because it's like she heard that story and then she looked down at her phone or something and saw like, yeah, it's July 4th. And that was when he manifested that intention to transition on July 4th also. So it was again about kind of like our inner being and source taking into account our preferences about, yeah, basically anything that we want, taking into account the timing of not just when we transition in the case of Thomas Jefferson, but specifically what day you want that to happen in his case. And Esther, kind of the timing of when she might be inspired to listen to that audiobook and hear something that would be interesting, or that would be like fun for her to kind of make that connection. So that was the second insight. And the third insight was just kind of to bring all this home. They really emphasized how your inner being wants your bell to be ringing all the way to the manifestation, not just when you get to the end state or the full manifestation that you want, but all along the way, because in that experience of being the creator of not just the manifestation, but also the timing of it, of how fast or how long it's taking, and also how it's happening, there's all these like mini manifestations along the way that you can be enjoying. That whole kind of path to the manifestation can be something that's really pleasurable, and that you can think about creating and also receiving the benefit of too. Because definitely, I think for a lot of manifestation students, and I've definitely had this issue before as well, we can, get really caught up in the end goal and not be as open to appreciating source co-creating with us along the way and how we want that experience to be. So for me on a personal level with the workshop and with the intentions that I came into the workshop with, I think one of the biggest takeaways for me right away is just to really think about being even more a creator of not just the end result that I'm trying to accomplish, but also the process of how I get there. And with my relationship with time and some of kind of the struggles that I've been having with that in recent months, I think that it's time for me to be more specific about how I want my projects and my work-life balance and like the things that I spend my time on, how I kind of manage my time, everything like that at times has been really stressing me out, to be more deliberate about scripting and focusing on that process of how I'm moving towards my goals, and as well as having a clear vision for the end result, also have a really clear vision that I'm seeking alignment with around the process of how I get there. And so I'd really be curious to know if you can also relate to kind of that experience of maybe being over-focused on being the creator of the end result and not as focused on being the creator of the process and of how you get to the end result. So I would love it if you kind of resonate with that and with that kind of that issue that I've been having too. Then I would invite you to also experiment with creating intentions and creating even more of a vision and more of a focus on how you want the process of moving to your intention to unfold, as well as creating the vision or the clarity around exactly what you're manifesting. Let's also start doing even more envisioning and creating of how we want the process to unfold too. So that would be my intention or my invitation to you, if that resonates, is to experiment with that as well. And definitely if that does resonate and you want to share any of your intentions or any of your insights on that, I would love to hear from you. Definitely leave your comments below if you have any thoughts to share on that topic. Okay, so those are a few quick thoughts and reactions from day one of the workshop. I'm definitely planning to share some more about my experience of the other 3 days of the workshop, and we also have a lot of fun European destinations that we're going to on this cruise. I'm really looking forward especially to visiting Helsinki, Finland, which is where I spent most of my time when I was back here in Scandinavia 21 years ago, half my life ago actually, which is crazy but true. So I'm gonna create a longer vlog of those experiences and the rest of the workshop, kind of my thoughts and experience of it. So definitely look for that in the near future. I'll be publishing that and I will link it up here as well when it's ready. And yeah, thank you for taking some time with me to just kind of recap a little bit from day one of the workshop. I hope you found that helpful. And yeah, I definitely recommend coming on the Abraham cruise or attending the workshops. It's always been a wonderful experience. I did the Alaska cruise last July. I have a vlog from that also as well. I'll link it up here in case you're curious. But yeah, the workshops is just amazing to be listening to Abraham in person for this amount of time. You can't help but get more in alignment with your inner being, with what you're wanting to manifest. I had some really positive manifestations happen as a result of my experience last summer. And yeah, so I look forward to sharing more with you soon from this cruise, but I'll say goodbye for now and invite Nick back inside. He's hanging out on the porch, waiting for me to be done filming this. So, or not the porch, the balcony, the balcony. So anyway, talk to you soon. And until next time, happy manifesting.